Good morning, everybody. I'm Jenny Gage, and this is Life Take Two. I've been sitting at my desk writing out a script as a response to the Stephen Miller part of Charlie Kirk's memorial, and I have been bawling my eyes out. And here's what I was thinking. I would rather pause right now, throw away the entire script, and give you just my raw response than sit here and make something sound perfect. I haven't even had a shower yet. I went for my jog this morning with Kevin, and we're just going to do this. If you're new to me, I am a former white supremacist, Christian nationalist, big time MAGA follower, Trump supporter. I left the Mormon church, my alt-right religious community, and gradually deconstructed all of that just recently. I just left MAGA 2 years ago. I left the Mormon church 7 years ago, left Christianity about the same time that I left MAGA. And I've saved this video. I've saved watching this portion of the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was here in my hometown. I am an Arizona girl. I grew up in Scottsdale, part of my life, not too far away from the Francis family, although Erica's much younger than me, so we never crossed paths. I haven't watched this video. I've watched other portions of the funeral, and the first time I watched it was just half an hour ago when I began to script about it. So let's dive into this. I hope not just to give you a response, but to translate what he's saying, because I think there's so much that only a former white supremacist can see.
The angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand.
So right there is a former cult member and somebody who was part of the alt-right and hardcore Christian nationalist. Every cult has an in-group and an out-group. You have to have a leader. You have to have a purpose. You have to have the pure genetic pool or the pure membership. Purity is everything. And from the very get-go here, he's talking about angels. So he's sanctifying everything that he's going to say here. We speak for God. The angels are behind us. And our enemies, that's the out-group. This is terrifying in the first 8 seconds here.
When I see Erica and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm.
I used to love that quote, and I actually had that on my Facebook profile for a long time. And I had this feeling of, I am the storm. And there's a little word in there that a lot of people might have missed, and it's just the word warrior. As a white supremacist, I literally believed that I was this warrior. I was the warrior for civilization. I was the warrior for God. I was the warrior for truth. I was the warrior battling for traditional family and everything that civilization was based on. So that little word there is not insignificant.
Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend.
Storm troopers, anybody?
And our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors.
Okay, there's that word warrior again. You guys, if you were never white supremacists, you do not understand how terrifying that little bit of this already was. So white supremacy isn't necessarily about hating brown people. It's not about hating African Americans or the indigenous populations of America, First Nations in New Zealand or Australia, people in India, wherever. It's not about hating them. White supremacy is the belief that white people are chosen. Now, a lot of this is based on biblical mythology. It's based on Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and the belief that Cain murdered his brother Abel, so he was cursed with brown skin. That was then carried throughout the flood with Ham. Ham was supposed to have been the father of Egypt and Africa after the ark landed wherever it landed. That was what I was taught in church. A lot of my Christian friends, a lot of early colonists believed that concept, that the curse of Cain was why people from Africa were brown skinned. And white supremacy to me was just, I am that pure lineage straight from Adam and Eve. I remember my granddad saying that there were only approximately 250 generations from Adam and Eve to me. That's, just averaging 25 years or something per human generation span. I don't know exactly what his math figure was to get that, and accounting for we've already lived through 6,000 years of Earth history is the biblical teaching. So from Adam and Eve to me was about 250 generations. I literally believed that my pure bloodline went back to Adam and Eve. Adam was handmade by God. God formed him out of the dust. And in the Bible, when it says that God made Adam in his image, to me as a Christian and a believer in the Bible, literally that Adam and Eve was literal, that Heavenly Father was literal. I believed that God was white. I believed that Jesus was white. And so when they made man in his image, then they made a white man. In the Mormon temple, I would watch videos that showed Adam and Eve in the garden, and Eve had long blonde hair just like me. She looked like Erica Kirk in a little suede dress that looked like something a Navajo would have worn. And Adam was white as white could be, and he had a little barbershop haircut. In the Mormon video of Adam and Eve, I always pictured Adam and Eve being white, just like me. And I believed that I was literally descended from them. So this is the core of white supremacy, the belief that God made Adam and Eve perfect. And then the belief that all good things in the world came through white Aryan lineage. This is the Third Reich. This is Nazism. He's not even hiding it. But I think that it's hidden inside because a lot of people don't understand. So this belief that whites were so superior, that they were different than people, is what allowed early Christians in America to own other human beings. That's what chattel slavery was based on. It was based on the belief that African Americans were less than, that they were genetically different. And I believed that they were almost like a totally different species, that because that lineage had been separated for so many years, that we had evolved differently than them. And part of that was because my lineage, I was descended from Adam and Eve, and then the tribes of Israel and the chosen people. I had descended from the chosen people. I believed that. I believed that from Adam and Eve to me, everything had been revealed through God to his chosen people. And the fact that I was born white meant that I was part of this long race of people that God had instructed. And part of that chosenness is that revelation from God. It's God directly teaching people. I believe that God shared his light and knowledge with every inventor. So the first person that had fire, that was Heavenly Father touching his mind and showing him how to start a fire, literally teaching and instructing him. Like Adam received instructions in the Garden of Eden. I believed that algebra and the written language and everything came from God, that all civilization was direct revelation from God. And by default, anything that happened in the African continent, which I just didn't have the knowledge to understand how much advancement there had been on the African continent, they were less advanced because they were cut off from God. So God wasn't inspiring them with his revelation. God wasn't giving them this technological advancement because they were a cursed people. So that's why Africa was still so primitive, and they were living in huts. And I grew up with National Geographic, where, whenever you saw photo shoots of African people, they were half naked and painted faces and pierced noses and things like that. I believed that they had evolved over the years from Adam completely different than us, and that they had lower IQ and that they weren't in any way as advanced as us. And then when he gets to the part about Erica being a warrior, again, we're tying into this Aryanism. We're tying into the strength, the enlightenment, the blessedness of the white people.
Of woman who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization.
Again, this little bit about civilization. In white supremacy, there is a belief that every good civilized thing that ever happened came from white people. To the point that when archaeologists first started to penetrate the American continent and they discovered some of the ruins of the Olmecs and the Mayans and the Aztecs, they originally speculated that people from Europe must have come over to the Americas because they landed in this whole continent that was full of nothing but brown-skinned people. Some of the French and English archaeologists looked around and they were like, yeah, there must have been white people that came to the Americas and taught them how to build these pyramid-like structures and all of the advancements, the calendars, the mathematical systems, medicinal knowledge that they had. They could not even conceive of the fact that the populations of North and South America could have at all done any of this on their own simply because they were brown-skinned. There were books and articles published by some of the early European archaeologists into North and South America where they've stated as fact that we've discovered these civilizations that are proof that Europeans must have come to the Americas. And that was foundational to my Mormon beliefs. The Book of Mormon is literally about people from Jerusalem who, by the way, I was taught would have been white, which they wouldn't have been. Kind of a little hiccup in Mormon doctrine. But I believed that the Mayans, the Aztecs, every civilization that had lived on the face of the Americas was because white people from Jerusalem had come to the Americas and they brought all of that knowledge, which they had directly from God. Again, a lot of white supremacy is based on the fact that God speaks directly to his race, his chosen people, those who are descended from Adam.
Who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light.
That right there was such a slam. Pulled us out of the caves and the darkness and into the light. That doesn't sound like white supremacy to probably almost anybody listening to it, right? Like it almost sounds like he's just referencing women. Like, oh, the power of Erica Kirk, the power of women. But he's literally slamming brown people. We lived in caves, the people in Africa, people through the Fertile Crescent, Middle East running around in the desert, and then white people, civilization, Europe, the Roman Empire, the British Empire. That caves is racist. This little phrase was racist. I'm going to back this up here.
Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will...
You guys, that was just white supremacist. The light will defeat the dark. The white will defeat the brown. It's just white supremacist talk. And he's saying it on a stage in front of everybody that's broadcast across the world. And the fact that he has that level of comfort saying this terrifies me.
Veil over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened.
Who is they? One guy killed Charlie Kirk. There was no they. We didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Black people didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Immigrants from Mexico didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Feminists like me, atheists like me, we didn't kill Charlie Kirk.
They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing.
This is the supremacy part of white supremacy. And this American Christian extremism that we're seeing, which foundationally is based on white supremacy, is so terrifying because I literally believed that I was better than everybody. I literally was told from birth that I was chosen. I'll link in the description here my article on Substack entitled I Was a White Supremacist, that talks about some of the childhood indoctrination that I received, and that changed me. I would be riding around town in the back of our station wagon, and I would see Navajos in my hometown in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I spent part of my childhood. And I would think I'm better than them. Look at them. They're brown skinned. They're Navajos. They're descendants of the Lamanites. Look at me. I'm in my nice little car with my cute little white family. I'm better than them. That supremacy, that they are nothing. Do you guys realize how horrifying this is? That a human being can stand in a stadium full of 100,000 other humans and say they are nothing about other humans and get applause. It's not just the words coming out of his mouth that alarm me. It's the millions of people across the country that are supporting this, supporting the belief that another human being is nothing. That was me for most of my life. I believed that the members of my church, the people that I saw on Sunday, those that had, gotten baptized and accepted Jesus and were doing the right things. And I grew up in a church that was racist. Black people were not allowed to go to the Mormon temple until I was in like kindergarten. So I didn't have any Black people in my life. I didn't have anyone except for white people around me. The fact that this man is so comfortable saying that other human beings are nothing and that other people applaud this should terrify all of you.
You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred.
That envy is really important because, again, that's supremacy. That's what stratification, status, and power is. He is better than us. White people are better than everybody else, and they're elevated. So envy, people in the caves, those dark people, the wicked people, we are looking up at them and we are envious. By the way, this was a huge undercurrent of Nazi propaganda. In Nazi propaganda, you would often see these blonde white people, a lot of moms and families with beautiful little blonde children, and they would be standing in a wheat field with the Jewish citizens of Germany, who were often portrayed as very dark with big noses and these gray complexions, just really looking sickly, looking like they had gone through 3 months of chemotherapy, is what a lot of the Nazi propaganda portrayed Jews as looking like. And you would see them looking up at the Aryan families in the propaganda posters as though they were jealous, as though they were envious. And the propagandists always showed that elevation. They always showed the Aryan people above the Jewish people. It's despicable. It's horrible.
Have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend.
Righteous fury. He's invoking God. He's sanctifying hatred. Righteous fury has killed billions of people around the world. Do you know how many people have been killed in the name of God? I'm going to invoke God, and then I'm going to start a crusade, and I'm going to go into the Holy Land and kill everybody who isn't Christian. Spanish Inquisition. Obviously not just Christianity. I'm always Christocentric because I'm a former Christian. But righteous fury is always a problem and should terrify everybody.
Those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
Again, this is just basic white supremacy 101. This was my belief my whole entire life, that white people descended from Adam and Eve had built all of civilization, everything that had every medical advancement, every engineering advancement, everything had been built by white people. After I left the Mormon church, I'm 51 years old. It was literally like 4 years ago that I started to learn about like ancient cultures that hadn't been white people, that had actually had technology, like some of the stuff out of Egypt.
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy.
Just a personal observation. Charlie Kirk was a very mean person. And if they're about to carry on that legacy, that also terrifies me.
And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion.
Charlie Kirk was shot while saying that trans people commit more school shootings than the average. Charlie Kirk hated transsexuals. And that was, unfortunately, the last sentence that would come out of his mouth.
You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us.
We can, and we have to, and we must.
We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization.
Again, just all the references to civilization. This is just white supremacy. And again, the othering, the we, the them, the somebody else, the inner group and the outer group. There was one gunman with a possible accomplice who killed Charlie Kirk. I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. You didn't kill Charlie Kirk. None of us did. I didn't want him dead. I wanted him at some point to mature and maybe live a better life. This is despicable and diabolical.
To save the West, to save this republic.
The West and the Republic, that's code word for white people. The West is white people. The Republic is white people.
Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong.
That strength comes from superiority, supremacy. It's just better genetics. It's the pure Aryan bloodline.
And what will you leave behind? Nothing. Nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now, generation by generation, and we will defend this world. We will defend goodness, we will defend light.
That's ownership, by the way. White people came up with the innovation, white people came up with all of the advancements. Civilization wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this pure lineage. And so we own this. We own America. We own everything, the technology, the electricity, the computer that I'm recording on right now. And this all belongs to white people.
We will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us. You cannot frighten us.
Virtue, that's a nod to purity. These American Christian extremists and white supremacists believe that everything about them is more pure. They eat pure food. They have pure DNA. They like more pure entertainment. They have the cloak and the mantle of the divine on them. Again, he invoked the angels at the very beginning. So that purity, that pure bloodline is supremacy. The word supremacy means I'm supreme, I'm superior, I'm better than. So he's invoking that once again, that I'm better than.
You cannot threaten us because we are on the side of goodness. We are on the side of God. And to my friend Charlie, to my brother Charlie, I know you are looking at us right now. I know you're watching Erica right now. I know you're watching your children right now.
That word brother was important too. It's always a fraternity. We are the brothers in this cause.
And I promise you, my friend, I promise you, my brother, we will prove worthy of your sacrifice.
The word sacrifice there is really loaded. Charlie did not choose for his life to be ended. And I don't think that he would have. I don't think that he would have left his wife and his children behind. I don't think that he would have left his work and his family or anything behind. He didn't choose to do that. He was killed at an event that seemed low risk enough that he didn't even have that much security, and there weren't that many police officers present. So it was a low risk day. He didn't sacrifice himself.
We will prove worthy of your time on earth. We will make you proud. We will finish the job. We will defeat the forces of darkness and evil.
Again, the forces of darkness, yes, some of that is satanic, some of that is biblical. So that would be sinners. That would be people living together without being married. That would be single moms. That would be people who smoke marijuana. That would certainly be anybody on the LGBTQ spectrum. That would be people who are dark, people who aren't Christians, atheists are, darkness, evil, sinners, followers of Satan, Buddhists, Muslims, anyone who isn't Christian would fall into that category. But again, darkness is a theme, and that is a white supremacy theme. And he also means that in a racist context.
And we will stand every day for what is true, what is beautiful, what is good. And we will achieve victory for our children, for our families, for our civilization, and for every patriot who stands with us. God bless you. God bless Turning Point. God bless Erica. God bless the Kirk family. God bless our heroes. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
By the way, that was a very Nazi-like gesture at the end there. And that was a salute. Again, if you're on the wrong side, he doesn't care about your children. He doesn't care about your grandchildren. They're not pure. They don't have strength. They don't have the lineage. They aren't capable of building civilizations. He does not recognize the contributions of the history of this planet from people who were brown-skinned, from people who weren't European. That is white supremacy. This whole entire talk from beginning to end terrifies me. And I will say that he is wrong about so many things, but the one thing that he is the most wrong about is if there is a them and an us, and if they are drawing that line in the sand, which I personally would have never drawn. I've never, as a former MAGA, very recent former MAGA, former white supremacist, I've never drawn a line in the sand, ever. I've never said, you can't be friends with me, you can't talk to me, you can't be part of my world, I'm fighting against you, this is a war. But if this man and his supporters are going to draw a line in the sand, then here's what you do. You push. That is the denim revolution. It is time for strategic spending. It is time for boycotts. It is time for you out there who feel like you want to make a change in this world to get your political science degrees, to get your law degrees, and run for office and build a better future for our children. It's time for us to speak up and push back against this. This is terrifying. We resist. The biggest thing that we can do to resist this is to rebuild our villages, get to know your neighbors, be friends with everybody, strengthen one another, help each other. If you have single moms in your neighborhood, help them out. Maybe they need a little bit of financial help. Maybe they could use help with the yard work once in a while. Support local businesses. Let's pull the rug out from under the billionaires and the millionaires. For all of human history, we have thrived on cooperation. Corporations are the antithesis. They are the enemy to human communities. So build back your tribe, be there for each other. One thing we can do right now is just step back and relax. These people are in power and they are strategizing how to turn the whole entire United States of America into a Christian nationalist, white supremacist New Jerusalem. The Handmaid's Tale is not only coming, it is already here. That's it. I will have a follow-up video to this later this week on the racism that we are seeing that's hidden in plain sight, but it's not if you know what you're looking for. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be hanging out in the comments. Bye.